She's a phobic of a lot of things. I feel
So, like what?
like racist. Uh,
How is JK Rowling racist?
there was some crazy statement she made about Hermione not being black. Someone said Hermione was black on social media. She's like, no, Hermione is not black. Hermione will never be black. You got all mad.
Can you show an example of that?
J.K. Rowling. I've just heard a lot of stuff about J.K. Rowling. Not good things, really offensive, hurtful things.
Have you seen any evidence with your own eyes?
Not honestly. I've seen social media posts making fun of it, but I haven't done enough research. I'm sure I could find some, but
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's story is something that, when it went viral in February, gave people a lot of hope. Because all we hear today is, homeschool your kids, homeschool your kids. And I absolutely agree with that. However, many people believe that's not an option for them. You've got both parents working, how is that going to be possible? And people rely on being able to send their kids to school. So a video went viral in February. Apparently, it's 45 million people have seen it. And it shows a teacher teaching kids how to think critically. And this teacher, if you watch him, you have no idea what his political views are. You have no idea what his personal opinion is. But all he's doing is getting kids to think by asking them questions, gentle questions. He's not confronting them. He's not telling them they're wrong. He's just simply asking thought-provoking questions. He's getting them to think about, why are they saying what they're saying? What is this based on? What evidence is this based on, for example? And so many people were impressed by the way this teacher handles, these type of discussions. Elon Musk retweeted the conversation, and he basically said, critical thinking should be the first thing taught to kids in school. So of course, many people were saying that, if my kid had this teacher, I would feel a lot more comfortable about sending them to public school. And a lot of people were saying, I would love this man to be my kid's teacher. I would feel a lot more comfortable about my kids being in school, knowing that they're being taught by people who are rational, who are able to not push their views on kids and just teach kids to think for themselves. Because unfortunately, the school system seems to be mass indoctrination these days. Kids are told what to think. Kids are told what to be offended about. Kids are taught that there are more than two genders, maybe up to 100. This is the sort of thing they're learning in school today. Radical leftists seem to have taken over the schools. The school system seems to be run by radical leftists, all the way from the top. This is why a lot more people are homeschooling. And the teacher was asked the question in one particular class. He was asked, do you still like JK Rowling's work, despite her bigoted views?
So these guys want to talk about JK Rowling? Is that so? What's going on with that? What do you want to know?
She's had a pretty controversial past. I just want to know, what are your thoughts on it? Do you still like her work despite her bigoted opinions?
So let's get specific, though. Let's define bigoted opinions. What opinions are bigoted? We're going to treat this as a thought experiment. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong or what way to think. The whole point is to learn how to think, not what to think.
Yeah.
So when you say bigot, you're starting with the conclusion that, given her bigoted opinions.
Yeah.
So first, let's start with, does she have bigoted opinions? So when you say bigoted opinions,
She has had a history of being extremely transphobic, I've heard.
hey, you've heard. So what? Can you give me an example?
If you look at her Twitter, I think you could see a few things. If you want, I could try and find
see
something.
See if you can find one.
So, one of these tweets that she came up with in 2019, she said, dress however you please, call yourself whatever you like, sleep with any consenting adult who will have you live your best life in peace and security, but force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real.
So you find that bigoted? What do you find about
It was
in there?
it was deemed transphobic.
See, the kid was told that statements like that are bigoted. So in the kid's mind, she's a bigot because that's what he was told. So the teacher is at least getting him to Really consider, do you find that to be bigotry? Do you think that statement is transphobic? What do you think? Because clearly, this is what he has been told.
I myself,
Do you find that transphobic yourself?
I don't really have an opinion on it, but I'm just going with what a lot of other people have said.
So let's pause there. Let's not go with what other people are saying. Let's try and learn how to critically think. So let's analyze the tweet ourselves. So that statement, do you see anything problematic? Disregarding other people's opinions.
She did try and pin some things on a specific group of people.
Where does she do that? Can you read that?
But force women out of their jobs for stating that sex is real.
So when I hear that, I'm interpreting that as meaning if a woman says that, saying that there is a difference between men and female and then being attacked as transphobic, I think that's what she's saying by attacking someone for stating that sex is real.
That is exactly what she's saying.
Is that transphobic to you?
So, to me, no. Stating that sex is real is not transphobic. It's just a fact of life. It exists.
Wow. Wow. I think this is a product of social media and watching the news. And basically, people's emotions get stirred up. And that's how people, instead of thinking critically, they run with however they feel about something. So JK Rowling, hearing that name invokes certain emotions in people. Just like hearing Trump's name, it just invokes certain emotions. And that's what they're basing their view of the person on. We've been told this person is transphobic. We've been told this person is a bigot. So they run with it. They don't stop and think, based on what am I deciding that this person is transphobic? What is this based on? And that's all this teacher got this young man to do, is to stop. And this is what she's saying. Do you think this is transphobic? To say that we should recognize biological sex, and recognizing that should not result in punishment for women. Do you think that's transphobic? Very simple question. So he ends up saying no. But at the start, he was just like, yeah, she's this, she's that. Simply because that's what he's been told. Simply because those are the emotions that have been stirred up by reading certain headlines, by listening, to certain commentary, which is disguised as journalism. But we know that's very rare today, actual authentic journalism, where it's just telling you the facts rather than trying to convince you of something. Then the kid went on to say that he feels like an idiot based on his opening statement. He was stating it as a matter of fact that she's transphobic, that she's a bigot. And after being asked a series of questions by this brilliant teacher, he was like, I don't think that was fair for me to say that. Absolutely wonderful exchange. And again, this is gentle questioning. It's not confrontational. It's not combative. He's not pushing anything on this kid in terms of his views. He's keeping that to himself and he's just asking questions. Absolutely brilliant. This should be celebrated. Teachers like this need to be celebrated. Because if you go on TikTok, we see radical leftist teachers just going all out, pushing lies, pushing all sorts of ridiculous ideologies that are not based in fact, that are not based in reality.
If you want to know what it's like to be trans and work with children but not pass as the gender you identify with, let me tell you. I work with preschool age children, about 3 to 4 years old. I guess my boss sent out an email to the staff and the parents of my room, letting them know that I'm trans and what pronouns I identify with and stuff. My coworker is great. She has never misgendered me. And when I'm in different rooms, some of the kids will ask me are you a boy or a girl? Because my hair is kind of a mid-length, but it's short enough that it applies to the kids' logic of boys have short hair and girls have long hair kind of thing. On my first day in the room, one of the kids asked me how I'm a boy if I have this thing. And then she pointed at her nose where my piercing is. I've actually had kids correct other kids on my pronouns, saying that he's not a she, he's a boy. And correct other kids. It's so cute. I've seen parents correct their kids too. The other day I was leaving work at the same time as one of the kids and she was talking about me to her mom and she was like, yeah, like, no, but she doesn't, whatever, whatever. And then the mom was like, yeah, like, he doesn't do whatever, whatever, and like kept talking. And I was like, that's just so nice. No one's made it like an issue. We're still like having these conversations, which is literally the sweetest thing ever. Like, on one of my like first days, one of the parents dropped off her daughter, and she asked me if her daughter had called me a girl the day before, because apparently, I guess, she had told her mom that. And I was like, no, they just call me my name, because we're usually talking to each other. And she was like, I'm sorry if she called you a girl. We have a lot of books at home. And I was like, that's so nice. Like, she didn't have to, but she did.
And unfortunately, they're not held accountable. They're not called out for it. They don't get fired. This is utterly brilliant. A student accuses JK Rowling of being transphobic. This teacher skillfully dissects the claim and challenges it by asking questions. He teaches not what to think, but how to think critically. Watch until the end. You will see the epiphany in real time. And that's what happened at the end of the video there. I encourage you to go and watch it in full. I'll leave the link to the full video down below. So as I said, a lot of prominent people like Elon Musk retweeted this exchange and praised the teacher for teaching kids how to think critically. But fast forward, just the other day, Warren Smith, the name of this teacher, he's basically revealed that he has been fired. He has been fired, and you can only assume it's because of the video. And he said that Elon Musk retweeting the video actually stopped him from being fired sooner. If it didn't go viral, it didn't have people praising the video, talking positively about the exchange, being retweeted by very prominent people, he would have been fired earlier. He said 7 days ago, I was fired from my school after 4 years of teaching. I recorded this the following day in order to share my perspective, honestly and in good faith, in order to move forward and put this experience behind me. I have no desire to cause complications or bring unwarranted attention to the school, so I will not divulge anything beyond that. It is important to me to be able to speak truthfully and honestly about one of the most challenging periods in the story of my life, in order to move on to a new chapter. I hope all can respect one another's privacy, freedom of speech, and treat each other with dignity, especially during such times. It's absolutely heartbreaking to hear. It's the people who do right by our children who are being punished for that, while the teachers who try to indoctrinate them, who lie to them, who try to recruit them into their cults, they're the ones who go without accountability.
So it happened yesterday. I was fired from my full-time teaching position. Not going to... It happened so quick. It happened in like 5 minutes. There was really no conversation, so they clearly knew what they wanted to do. So it's not someone that I don't think the... And I really genuinely, I'm not, because there's so little clarity on all of this, I'm really trying not to, I'm not interested in divulging anything. There's no utility in that. I never have. I never will. I think I have a right to articulate that I just lost my job and my basic observations, my life experience. There's no NDA. So when you say we appreciate you not divulging, I don't know if that means that you're threatening my severance package. I really hope not. I don't even know what the severance package is. I'm still waiting, but anyways, it was a bummer to lose my computer like that too. This could have been done. I understand if you disagree with me voicing opinions on YouTube or feeling like it's easier just to get rid of that. I understand. To get rid of a teacher like that. And I accept that.
Yeah, there's plenty of teachers who go on TikTok, who put children on TikTok when they should be teaching. That goes unchallenged. Plenty of them. There was a teacher the other day who had kids unbraiding his hair, taking his braids out. He did actually lose his job. But this video exchange is helpful, not even just for kids, but for teachers too. Teachers share resources. Teachers go online and they share resources. I thought that was a masterclass in teaching critical thinking. And as a teacher, I would appreciate that video. That video didn't talk about any political views, pushing anything. I don't think it's because he had social media. Because there's plenty of teachers who have social media and are putting kids on camera and all sorts. I think it's because schools don't like teaching kids how to think critically. They want kids to think in one way and one way only. That's the whole purpose of them being there. To the point where you will put gender ideology before reading, before science. So you can't tell me that this is what schools want. Public schools, as it stands, they don't want this. They want kids learning that there's more than two genders. They want kids learning that men can have babies. Because that's what's being pushed. Kids who challenge gender ideology, they're punished. And it's no different for teachers. So I'm not buying it's because he has YouTube or whatever. I'm not buying that for a second. Even in our colleges, people are spending thousands upon thousands of dollars to send their kids to college to be dumbed down. And that's the agenda, that's the purpose, in my opinion. Now, thankfully, depending on the state you live in, teaching certain concepts, are banned. We know that Florida, for example, banned certain ideologies being taught to kids because they don't want kids indoctrinated. So if you live in states like that, you're much better off. But generally, our public school system, unfortunately, seems to be more about indoctrination. And teachers that don't conform to that, they're the ones who are going to get punished. They're the ones who are going to end up losing their jobs.
Sometimes how you do it, though, is important. And I think this could have been done without just taking my computer and losing a book that I've been writing for 2 years. Multiple things I've been writing for 2 years. All the data from 2 years, my digital life. I have my crypto accounts open. I have my access to a plethora of my information at your fingertips. I really hope that you just do the right thing, because honestly, I just want to be, I hope I never see you again, and I just want to live my life. I really am not interested in you guys. Good luck to you. I have devoted 4 years of my life to this school, and yesterday it was like being a character in a video game and just being deleted, and the rest, it's like you were never there. It was remarkable by people that love to pretend they're your teammates, and this is just my perspective on things, and so the reason was we don't trust you to not divulge information online or upload online. Well, I've never divulged anything. I've Dave Rubin, Dr. Drew, hours of podcasts, and not once did I ever cross any of the parameters that you laid out, that your lawyers laid out, and I even praised you for and thanked you for making that so clear, objectively recognizing what the rules were.
It's absolutely shocking the way he's been treated. I really hope he gets his stuff back, his computer and everything, all the his work and everything, and I hope he gets a job in a school that appreciates kids who are able to think critically. I hope he gets a job in a school that wants to teach kids what they actually need to learn, that prioritizes reading, maths, science, what's important, rather than indoctrination. I think the offers are going to come rolling in for this teacher, and I really hope they do. So according to Smith, he wasn't given a clear reason that he was fired, although he seems to believe it was because of the public interviews he did after the video went viral. He also revealed the school took his computer, which contained several projects and books he had been working on for years. The positive response on X was overwhelming. You should not have been fired. Schools need teachers like you, who prioritize critical thinking over blindly affirming pre-held beliefs. Absolutely amazing. I saw that video of you and didn't know who you were. I showed it to my kids. It was brilliant. You are brilliant. Just remember, everything happens for you. It's just a matter of figuring out the why. I have no doubt you will do that. This is shocking. Sorry it hit you so abruptly and in such a terrible manner. The season of your computer is insane. I've never been a Destiny guy, but the sense of stars aligning lately is everywhere. May not feel it right now, but this is your moment. Warren, crush it. Welcome to the club, dude. You'll love it here. So, my heart goes out to him. Absolutely demoralizing to not even know what you've been fired for. If anything, I think the school might be running scared. Maybe they're worried about being exposed about something. Who knows? Who knows? So I think Warren is going to be fine, but it is very demoralizing to hear that he's been treated this way. But I wish him all the best. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of offers, whether it's in public schools or private schools or even just people who homeschool might hire him, in his area to come and teach their kids. So he's going to have a lot of options. I have no doubt about that.
Do you think it's wise to make accusations of people if we don't have evidence that we've actually seen with our own eyes, just going off what other people say?
No.
So is what you are doing, is that wise?
No.
So you're acknowledging that it's not?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, but if Hermione is white in the movie...
It was, I don't know. It was some Twitter thread. But I've seen a lot of things about JK Rowling.
So how do you feel, though, about the laws being passed in Scotland where if you refuse to use pronouns, that could be considered a hate crime?
I think that's kind of crazy.
Why?
Because it's your choice. I mean, like if you refuse to use pronouns, like what? Like refusing to. What does it mean by refusing to use?
So if I were to say I'm a woman and I want you to call me she, would you do it?
So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, like and subscribe, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.